Hey everybody, H to the Orst Horst here. Yeah, I'm not going to be doing that every time, that just sounded wrong. But I have another game for you guys. It's myself against a terran named Brent. This is actually a very long game for PvT. It was, I think, about 30 minutes almost, which is longer than a lot of games. A lot of weird decisions had to be made in this game, so I figured it would be a good one to show you guys, because a lot of the replays I've been posting lately end the game with the first push, or they're very fast. This game has a lot of late game kind of things going on, so I thought what better to show than how to play late game PvT. This guy, I don't think he went mech in the end, it's just handling MMM for like the entire time. But that's the most common strategy Terrans use, so I think it's a good one to show people. I'm going to do this entirely from my perspective. We're not going to look at his perspective. We'll just go into what I see, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And right here, it screws me over, it kills my probe before I can scout anything. That's not so good. Oh well. Doesn't mean we can't still beat him. We just won't have a scout. Hopefully he's not doing an all-in. At half the time you can't spot a Terran all-in anyway, so it doesn't really matter. They'll kill the probe with the first Marine and then do something crazy. But we'll start off with a normal build, like any other. I believe I go for a fast robotics in this replay. I'm not entirely sure, I haven't seen it in a while, but like any other, you want to get a zealot out while your core is warping in. Chrono boost it so that the core finishes around the same time as the zealot, so you can get a stalker out right after the zealot finishes. You want a stalker and a zealot so you can push back any fast marauder pushes. You need both. You can't do it with two zealots, you can't do it with two stalkers. You need one zealot, one stalker. And of course warp gates. And as you're getting the stalker, you want your second gas to go down. Very helpful. Keep pylon production up so you don't get blocked. And one of my favorite things to do is move out with just that stalker and the zealot and go attack the Terran. You're not going to do any damage, but you want to kill a couple of loose things like that. It's always useful. But you'll move over to the Terran base, and while you're doing that, you want to throw down a robotics facility. This is to give you fast immortals and observers if you need them. So we see the Terran has a bunch of Marines. Just poke at them, kill as many as we can. And right here, I see a command center and another barracks going down with a reactor. That means that he's probably going to be teching up while expanding, because he's going to use a lot of Marines, so he's not going to spend much gas on anything else. So I can respond with a fast expansion of my own. So this is a one gate, one robo expand. Give me a very fast observer so I can see what he's doing, which is really helpful. So make the observer while expanding. I have a sentry out. I built the sentry. I usually go zealot, stalker, sentry. That's the order of units I build for my first few. Because if he's going for like two marauders and he manages to kill my stalker, I need some way to hold this until I can get an immortal out. So that 15 seconds the force field buys me is usually enough to help me out with that. But again, keep from being supply blocked. Keep building the pylons. And get that observer out to scan the Terran, see what's going on with him. I know he is expanding. I don't know if he knows what I'm doing, so when I see his front line, I'll be able to tell what he thinks I'm doing pretty much. He hasn't scouted me in a while, so I'm not sure what he knows. But I can see 3 racks. He's starting to transfer over probes. I can see an engineering bay. He's probably going to go for upgrades. If we look over here, you can see he has 2 bunkers, which means he does not know I expanded. He wouldn't have thrown down bunkers if he knew I expanded. He did send the scout SCV over. I just killed it. And because he saw the expansion, he salvages his bunkers. Now I know he knows I have an expansion. He's going to build turrets, of course, to keep from observers seeing everything. And I can see he's just starting a factory, so I'm not too worried. So I'll get an immortal out, a couple of sentries, some stalkers, while teching up the colossus as well. When he's going for, this is obviously a very infantry heavy build because he's only getting a factory just now, and he has 4 racks already up. Here comes his attack. Now, very carefully want to deal with this. You want a guardian shield and force field to limit what he can do to you. See, in order to attack him, he has to come through this very narrow choke point in the force field, so only a couple of units can attack. So even though my units are not as efficient as stim marines, I can still do quite a bit of damage to him. Trap as many as humanly possible in there and kill them all. Check out units lost. You can see I'm actually ahead even though he has infantry. Zelnaga has these choke points here and here, which you can easily force field if you have 4 or 5 sentries early game like I do. I definitely recommend doing that. And while I was doing that, he does kill my probe I had at the tower. But you can see he's building more and more barracks. He's finally getting his starport. So, after repulsing the first Terran attack, I like to expand.